We have some major breaking news. It has been announced that Xfinity will end its title sponsorship of NASCAR's Xfinity Series after the conclusion of the 2025 season. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. As I just said a second ago, we got some pretty massive major breaking news this morning, as it has been announced that Xfinity and Comcast will end their title sponsorship of the Xfinity Series after the conclusion of the 2025 season. Here's a report from Adam Stern early this morning. Xfinity will end its title sponsorship in NASCAR's Xfinity Series after 2025, including a high-profile deal that began in 2015. But only while renewing its premier partnership of the sanctioning body for multiple years and with fresh strategies. The big key thing to note is that Xfinity is not going to be leaving NASCAR altogether, so they're still going to have a big premier sponsorship deal in the NASCAR Cup side of things. However, it has been rumored over the course of the last couple years, going all the way back, I believe, to 2023, that it's very likely that Xfinity would be leaving as the title sponsor after the conclusion of 2025. Now, they have not announced a replacement currently at the moment for 2026 at this time. What I could see happening are some potential possibilities. Number one, I could definitely see Grand National coming in and maybe change the name just to the NASCAR Grand National Series. They called that for many, many years. Or one big possibility that I would love to see is them potentially change the name up to Busch. Busch used to be the entitled sponsorship pretty much from the beginning of the NASCAR Xfinity Series when they brought this series as its official series in 1982. They called like the Late Model Sportsman Series in 1982, and then eventually Busch kind of came in around like 1984 and 1985 and became the name of the series, called the Busch Grand National Series in the mid-1980s, and was the entitlement sponsorship for the secondary series until 2007. When, of course, in 2008, Nationwide took over and started being the sponsor for that in 2008 when it was called the NNS. And then in 2015, Xfinity came in. Xfinity has done a lot for the series. They brought a lot of money in. They've brought a lot of sponsorship opportunities. They, of course, have sponsored teams in the series. I think they sponsored Bubba Wallace at one point. They sponsor drivers in the Toyota stable. Of course, they've worked with other drivers like Daniel Suarez in the past. And they've done a lot of things, and they've had a lot of programs that have been able to come in. And we have always heard that saying, as fast as Xfinity Internet. That's something we always hear every time, and I think drivers do get paid when they do go ahead and say, as fast as Xfinity Internet. And I think that's a really cool program that they've been able to have for a very, very long time. It is definitely disappointing here that Xfinity will not be the title sponsor, because it's been around for a decade at this point, but it also isn't the most shocking and surprising thing when you be hearing the rumors and speculation that it was very likely going to happen. I thought as soon as it was starting to be rumored last year, we all thought it wasn't going to be coming back for 2025. The rumors that they were going to be changing the name for the 2025 year, but at least for 2025, Xfinity will come in. The big question is going to be, will they have a big title sponsor come in? Or very similar how the NASCAR Cup Series does it, will they have multiple different sponsors that will be partnered with it? For the NASCAR Cup Series, and then they've got three big key sponsors. I believe it's not Geico, because they're no longer a title sponsor, but Coca-Cola, I believe Monster Energy, if I'm not mistaken, and I believe Xfinity are the three big title sponsors that work as NASCAR when it comes to the money side of things. Could we see the Xfinity Series go to that level? I could definitely see them doing that for sure. There's no question on that front that could certainly be a possibility. But I also think that NASCAR, especially for the secondary series, they're going to want to change it up and do things how they've been doing it for a very, very long time. If you want my honest prediction, I think Busch honestly will become the title sponsor again for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. And if you don't believe me, I think there's a very likely, look at the Craftsman Truck Series. For 2009 up until around 2022, after 2008, the Craftsman was the main title sponsor for the Truck Series from 1996 all the way till the end of 2008. And then in 2009, Camping World came in, which was sponsoring Ron Hornaday Jr. at the time at Kevin Harvick Incorporated. And they came in and sponsored from 2009 through 2022. Then in 2023, guess what big branding came back? Craftsman. I think it's very likely that Busch could come into play and be the entitlement sponsor for that series starting in 2026. And I think that'd be really, really cool. Now, I think another reason why there's something like this happening is because of the fact that, obviously, of course, Xfinity Series, the secondary series, is no longer on any of the Comcast brands. The CW, I don't believe, is associated with any of it. I think they're associated with Nexstar, and Xfinity and Comcast have also been backing off some of their stuff when it comes to money. They've been having money issues, among other things. I think that's another big factor why something like this is finally starting to happen officially. We've seen a lot of drivers in this era of the sport be able to bring a lot of success. Chase Elliott in his second year won a couple races in 2015, nearly won the championship. We've seen drivers like Chris Buescher and Justin Allgaier win a lot of races in Xfinity. We've seen drivers like Kyle Busch get his 100th career Xfinity Series win in this series. We've seen drivers like John Hunter Nemechek and Chandler Smith emerge as really solid drivers in this time. We've seen Ty Gibbs become a really good driver in the series and win a championship. Same thing with Austin Cindric back in 2020. Noah Gragson emerged during this time. Bubba Wallace competed during this era. Drivers in the Cup Series came down to race. We saw Shane Van Gisbergen race in the series, and now you've got guys like Connor Zilisch, Carson Quaffle, all those guys getting the chance and opportunity to complete with Xfinity being in its final year as the top sponsor. It doesn't shock me or surprise me, though, unfortunately, that this is happening. Things are changing in the landscape when it comes to NASCAR, when it comes to sponsorship dollars. We've seen a lot of big sponsors leave the sports over the years. M&M's is one big one in particular that's left, and Mars brand. Geico has left recently. Hooters is no longer involved in the sport, and they're not leaving the sport completely, right? It's just that it's kind of crazy to see something like this happen, but it's also, again, not the most shocking and surprising thing to see Xfinity just go ahead and jump ship after being with the series for a very, very long time. It's been there since 2015 and 10 years, and to see that in 2026 things are going to be changing on that front is definitely wild in a way, right? But also, the same token, same time, it's not the most crazy and surprising thing we have seen in the sport. We've seen a lot of crazy things happen over time, and it's going to be wild to see Xfinity no longer being the title sponsor in 2026. We're just going to have to wait and see what ends up being the official title sponsor for NASCAR in 2026 in the secondary series. Again, my prediction currently at the moment is that it is going to be Busch. I could be wrong, and it could definitely be something different going into 2026. But again, I think my prediction is that Busch will come in and be the entitlement sponsor for this series going into the 2026 year and season for the new program over there. So, that is going to be your today's special breaking news on Xfinity no longer being the entitlement sponsor for the secondary series after 2025. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, so if I win a video, that's go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Let's go some more of that and comment your thoughts below on today's episode. What do you think will be the new title sponsor for the secondary series in 2026? Do you think it will be Busch or not? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Tomorrow on the channel, we should have a NASCAR news video discussing news over the course of the last couple days. Then on Thursday, we'll have something special dropping, probably a paint scheme video and a silly season on the sponsorship side of things, most likely dropping. Friday, we should have a NASCAR news video dropping. We'll have some other content dropping this week as we get closer to the start of the season. We'll be talking about people like Haley Dean, Connor Zilisch, Carl Edwards, Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, Shane Van Gisbergen, Bubba Walsh, Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, Michael McDowell, Spire Motorsports 2011 front row in the lawsuit because we got some updates on that. And we're going to talk about all this other big news that is going to be coming out. We're about a week away from the Daytona 500, which is really, really exciting. NASCAR is officially back after the Clash concluded a couple days ago. Definitely ready to get the season underway as NASCAR is officially back for 2025. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.